In his first Republican debate, Governor Rick Perry made a startling parallel between himself and Galileo when asked about global warming.
Just recently in New Hampshire, he said that weekly or even daily, scientists are coming forward to question the idea that human activity is behind climate change. Which scientists have you found most credible on this subject?
Well, I do agree that the science is not settled on this. The idea that we would put Americans' economy at jeopardy based on scientific theory that's not settled yet, to me is nonsense. I mean, and I tell somebody, I said, just because you have a group of scientists that have stood up and said, here is the fact, Galileo got outvoted for a spell.
Let's put the two men into perspective. Galileo Galilei was a scientist. Stephen Hawking considers him one of the first modern empirical scientists. Rick Perry, on the other hand, hates scientists. He especially hates modern empirical scientists. Galileo believed that scientific evidence trumped personal intuition. For example, everyone has noticed that heavy objects fall faster than lighter ones. He demonstrated that when we ignore air resistance, a light and a heavy ball fall at the same rate. Perry believes that personal intuition trumps scientific evidence. For example, a scientist presented Perry with clear evidence that a condemned man was innocent. Perry ignored the evidence and proceeded with the man's execution. Galileo took controversial stands. As a scientist, he stood up to the religious and political leaders of his time. He used scientific evidence to argue against their dogmatic beliefs. Perry takes controversial stands. As a religious and political leader, he stands up to the scientists of his time. He uses dogmatic beliefs to argue against scientific evidence.
To put America's economic future in jeopardy, asking us to cut back in areas that would have monstrous economic impact on this country is not good economics, and I will suggest to you is not necessarily good science.
It's not surprising that Rick Perry would be so ignorant about Galileo, or that he would hate science so much. Consider the grades he got for science in college.
I do believe that the issue of global warming has been politicized. I think there are a substantial number of scientists who have manipulated data so that they will have dollars rolling into their projects.